Hello, and welcome back to WP Reflections, where we speak with some of the amazing members of the William Patterson alumni community about their time on campus and catch up on what they're up to now. This season, we are speaking with people whose time on campus includes both their college and professional careers. They are some of the many Pioneer alumni who are working across our campus as faculty and staff to teach and support the next generation of students. Our guest today is Sonia Wilson. Sonia was a William Patterson employee first and then a double alumnus. She joined us in 2015, working first in student development, and went on to earn her BA in sociology, magna cum laude, congratulations, in 2019. And she earned her master's in higher education administration in 2021. Today, she serves as the assistant director in our Career Development Center, where she helps students prepare for and launch successful careers. Welcome, Sonia.
Thank you so much, President Haldane.
It's good to have you here today.
It's a pleasure to be here.
So I'm the 8th president of William Patterson, so I'm going to ask 8 questions. Some of them are going to prompt conversation, and 4 are fun questions, what we call the lightning round. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Great. So you've mentioned that you had a whole other career in the insurance industry before coming to William Patterson. What was that career transition like, and how does that experience inform your work with students who are typically launching their first career, but also maybe following a similar path to you?
Right. So I was in the industry of insurance for 14 years. And then leaving that industry, it was a bit scary. It was a bit nerve-wracking because after being unemployed for a whole year, I started getting hopeless. Like, is this ever going to happen?
Yeah.
Am I ever going to get another job? Do I stay in career? Do I stay in the insurance industry, or do I go into another career? So it helped me in the sense where, why did I give up hope? Why did I have those moments of hopelessness? Because I knew eventually it would work out. So the same mindset I use to inform my students, because when they leave out of college, sometimes they feel like they're not going to find a job right away. Don't give up hope, remain hopeful, just keep persevering. Network with individuals in the career career industry, that you want to go into, and use those connections to propel yourself into the career of your choice.
Well, you do a great job over in career development. Our job placement rate is 86%,
yes.
Right?
Yes.
97%, I think, for Pesci Family Mentoring.
98 now.
98,
yes.
Even better. So that's above the national average. So congratulations,
Absolutely.
You're doing great work.
Yeah.
So like many William Patterson students, you worked a job while working toward your degrees, and you're raising a family as well.
Yes.
So I know that you didn't have much, if any, free time.
No.
But what were the other things besides your courses that defined your student experience here at William Patterson?
My connections to other staff members. I look at my relationships as transactional, where I am receiving from them as well as giving to them. So the relationships I have with my different colleagues, they've helped me navigate this space. As a non-traditional student, I did not seek out the resources that normal traditional students would have, and I regret that to this day, but I used those connections that I had with my colleagues. They were like my informal advisors, if you will. Yeah. So they showed me the way to select my classes. They showed me the way to better study. They showed me different things that would propel me into being a better student and eventually a better professional.
Yeah. I was just talking to another alumna who said, it's about relationships.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? And for you, it was the same way, and now you're doing that for today's students.
Absolutely.
So it's a way of giving back to those who gave back to you, right? Who gave to you in the first place.
I promote networking to the fullest extent. Those connections, they're not only for the time that you're here at school, but they help you even after school to maintain those lifetime mentorships, because mentorship should never stop.
The work that you and your colleagues are doing in career development is so important to our students. We know that getting a good job is the #1 reason that students choose William Patterson, and for good reasons. As you know, as I mentioned earlier, 86% of the William Patterson class of 2022 had a positive career outcomes 6 months after graduation, which is 4% higher than the national average. What kind of impact do you see career communities and other career development resources having on our students' success in preparing for and launching them rewarding careers?
I think it has a major impact with respect to the career communities, more directly the success team, whoever whoever had that idea, kudos to them, because it creates synergy amongst the professionals that we can connect with one another to see how and why is a student struggling. So I personally have reached out to colleagues across the campus so that I can better help my students succeed. And for the students, it helped them to feel a sense of belonging, to also know that students have a team of people who are concerned about their success and want to help them succeed professionally and also while they are here academically.
Yeah, I think the student success team model, where we have career development sort of embedded in it, has just made students feel like they have a group of people who care about them.
Absolutely.
And I think if you feel that you have a group of people that care about you, you're more likely to persist, you're more likely to graduate, and you're more likely to go on to a great career. So it's working in so many ways for us.
Yeah.
So I often talk about how career development is a lifelong process, and you are a great example of William Patterson's commitment to developing our in-house talent, having taken on increasingly senior roles. What kinds of things do you do to develop your own career? Are there people that you call mentors still?
Yes.
And how do you keep up on developments in your field, which is always changing?
Yes, always changing. Yeah. But like I said, lifelong mentorship. I don't stop having relationships with colleagues. I don't stop having a relationship with my mentors. So I continue to reach out to them. I continue to have meetings with them. In addition to that, I read the higher education journals. I read the Chronicle of Higher Education. I also go to conferences on my own time. I'm on LinkedIn all the time, staying in awareness, should I say, keeping an awareness of the industry leaders, the industry leads. It's never a time where you should sit back and say, I know it all, because like you said, it's ever evolving. So I want to make sure I stay abreast so that I'm giving my students the best of me and the best of what they can expect when they go out into their fields.
Yeah. It's always surprising when I tell students that I have mentors that I still call. And they're like, as a president, you still have mentors? Like, yeah, because the type of mentoring changes over time. Like, it's not career advice, but it's thought partnering. Right. It's like, I read this article in Inside Higher Ed. What do you think of it? I mean, it just changes over time.
Absolutely.
But now we're going to move to the lightning round.
Let's go.
And you're going to give me short responses to 4 questions. Are you ready?
Yes.
What would the title of your autobiography be?
Delayed but not denied.
Tell me why.
As I said, I'm a non-traditional student. And as I was growing up, I allowed insecurities and fear to stop me from doing things that I should have been doing. But when I begin to embrace who I am fully and wholly, that's when I just propelled. And so I got my first degree at a 40-something. And it's just been a blessing, and I feel more empowered the older I get. So although it didn't happen at a younger age, it happened at an older age. So although it was delayed, I was not denied.
Excellent title. What was your favorite spot on campus and why?
The dining hall, because I get to engage with so many students, and I get to see students who I may not see on a daily basis. And then also my office, because who I do not get to see in the dining hall, sometimes they want to just come to my office, talk about career things, and sometimes they want to talk about personal things. So the privacy of my office gives me time to build those relationships with my students.
Well, it's interesting because we renovated Wayne Dining a couple of years ago, and students love hanging out there, which is really great. Tell us, what was your toughest class at WP?
Philosophy. I am such a critical thinker, and sometimes I overthink, but philosophy was my hardest class. I think that's the only class I got a D in, and I literally cried. And to be perfectly honest with you, that was when years ago when my son was maybe like 7 or 8 years old, when I first started coming back to school. And that class, talk about my fear and insecurity, that class, getting a D in that class stopped me from coming back to school. Like, I quit after that. And I was like, I can't do this.
Really?
But once again, those fears and those insecurities. But then I made a pact with him. When you go off to college, I have to be that example. So I used it. And I came back, and then I soared ever since. Delayed but not denied.
See, there you go. Right, and I often say that, it's those, you say delayed but not denied because there were things that you should have been doing but you didn't do. But the big question is, were you taught to do them? Was it a path that, you were taught? Because I often say higher ed is predominantly about elite white men. Right. And how do we begin to change those systems to make sure that we create other paths so someone in their 40s can get their degree?
Right.
What is, and I'm sure you probably give out a lot of advice in the Career Development Center, but what is the single best piece of advice that you could give today's students, no matter their major?
Students or any, I would say mentorship and internship.
Yeah.
Do not wait until your last year of your college career to do an internship. Get that experience earlier on, because it will help you with your resume, but ultimately it would help you with your career preparation.
So, it's interesting. I have office hours with the president every so often, and there was a gentleman who had finished his career and retired and came in to talk to me and said, I just want to tell you how impressive it is that you're talking to students about careers in their first year at William Patterson, and we've built it into all 4 years. And so he just thought it was amazing, and it was great. And really, we're seeing it. We're seeing it in the outcomes. We're seeing it in the starting salaries are going up. So, again, really, you guys are really the outputs of all the inputs that we put into higher education. You are the success story of the product of our degrees. So we thank you for all the great work that you're doing. We're glad that you stayed with us. We're glad that you came back and that you weren't delayed but not denied.
Thank you.
It's all working out for you, so thanks so much.
Thank you.
Great to have you here today.
Appreciate you.